Hi community of awesome, I'm Ava J and this is Bookish Pixie. So a while ago, one of you guys asked if I could do a vlog on the struggles that I faced while writing Beyond the Red and how I overcame them. And I think that's a great question because writing a book is really hard and every manuscript has its unique challenges, and this one got published, which is awesome, but it wasn't any easier to write than any of my other manuscripts. So some challenges that I faced while writing Beyond the Red. Here we go. First, the world building. So I've probably mentioned this at some point on this channel, but I write very thin first drafts. I think this is partially because I fast draft, which means I write my manuscripts as quickly as possible and try not to slow down to think about anything. But it's also just the way my brain works. When I'm first drafting, I try to just get the plot stuff on the page as quickly as possible and keep moving until the end. So what this means for me is while I'm first drafting, I tend to focus on the action and the characters and sort of ignore the setting and everything going on around them. Which means that yes, for me, my world building is super minimal in my first drafts. So a lot of my revisions tend to revolve around getting my world building in. And what I mean by a lot of revisions is there are often multiple rounds of revisions where I have to fix world building stuff. I remember my very early readers had almost all commented on including more world building, so I had multiple rounds of revisions there. And then once I signed with an agent and her team looked at it, I added 30,000 words with their revisions, and a lot of that was world building. I basically had to slow down, sit and think about how the humans had gotten there, what the temperatures were like year round, what the food was like, what the different cultures were like, what the different languages were like, their dancing, what their technology was, what the animal life and plant life was like, what it looked like in different places. All of those details. So yeah, that took a lot of time, a lot of words, a lot of effort, but it was totally worth it and I learned a ton from it. Second, Cora. So Cora, right. Cora was a really tough character to write because she was so determined to be strong and leader-like that she iced people out, and she kinda iced me out. I know it sounds a little weird for an author to say my character that I created iced me out, but that's basically what happened. This was really tough because I needed to not only dig under her shield and see what she was thinking and feeling underneath all of that, but also then show it without breaking character. A key scene that helped me figure it out was a revision scene I added in, and I'm paraphrasing here and it's not spoilery, but Cora asks Sadek basically, why do you like me? And the way that he answered helped me see, oh, so this is what people admire about her, this is a strength that he sees, and this is what's going on inside her head. And then I was able to take that and incorporate it through the rest of the manuscript. So yeah, writer tip there, if you have a character that's icing you out, figure out what other characters like about them because it can give you some pretty good hints. And third, the ending. I'm not sure if I mentioned this here before, but I hate writing endings. I mean, I like being done when I'm finished writing the manuscript, but endings for me are often the most difficult part. Basically, like the last quarter of the book tends to be a struggle for me, and Beyond the Red was no exception. And Beyond the Red, while the last chapter stayed pretty close to what it was in the first draft, the climax I wrote like 1,000,000 times. And by 1,000,000, I mean like 4 or 5 times. I don't remember exactly, but it was a lot. The scene in Yul's arena at the end of the book changed really drastically draft to draft. I'm not going to say details because that would be very spoilery, but let's just say that the first draft version and the second and third and fourth draft version were all pretty different from the final version. While it was super frustrating to have to rewrite that scene over and over and over, it was totally worth it because the version that ended up in the published book is easily my favorite. So persevere, my writer friends, because writing a book is really difficult and every manuscript you write is going to have different challenges for you to overcome, but take it from me, it's worth it. So that's what I got for today. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and comment, and I'll see you guys next week.